Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name's Ardil and this is the 812 Superfast. So imagine you buy yourself an incredible Ferrari 812 Superfast, just like this client did. Picked up an absolutely stunning vehicle. You're absolutely buzzing. It is absolutely phenomenal. Something only dreams are made of. However, you jump inside and you go, why does it sound so poor? And this is where manufacturers tend to lie a little bit. They have lots of grills in the car. However, there's missing a few speakers. Today, you're gonna find out what is missing. You're gonna see what we're gonna do, but also you jump in the car and you wanna navigate home. No Apple CarPlay, no Android Auto? Not a problem. It's with Cambridge Car Audio.
All right, and if you come with me, you can see that right in here, we can tap on that and it gives that nasty kind of metally reverberation. Now, when your music's playing, you're gonna be hearing a lot of that, and we don't want that. It ruins the sound. So what we do is we put the sound deadening in, and then you'll see, just like that, it's gone.
Right, so the soundproof is nearly finished. Nick's just finishing off the last little bits now as we speak. You've just seen me take the dashboard out. Now, you might have clocked it, you might not, but you'll have seen that there is no speakers in the dash. Now, this is because it's the bass audio system, which came with this Ferrari. So it was only a two-way front end, a tweeter and a mid bass. So it's already got the positioning for the mid ranges to go in the dash. So with the help of our little 3D adapters, we're going to drop them in there. We're going to mechanically fix them in it with, what are they called? What? Machine screws? No. What the hell are they called again? Threaded inserts, there we go, thank you. Right. So, using the threaded inserts, this is going to be a nice mechanical fixing, so if it is ever to get removed or put back in, you're not going to have an issue of stripping threads inside the actual dash itself. So this is a really sound, nice way to fit the speakers. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You're probably going to watch me do that, and then we can start making our way through the rest of the car with all the other adapters, which Carl, Legend, has already printed out.
And just like that, our boot is done, nice and soundproofed, no more nasty sounds from that. But if you come here with me, hear that? Resonance. We don't want that, we want that gone, so we're gonna get some soundproofing, we're gonna fit it in here nicely, and make sure that when our speakers are playing, the sound coming out of it is perfect.
Next job is the sub enclosure. Now we are fitting the Hertz Mille Legend deep 10-inch sub. Now if you've seen the Ferrari F12 video we did last year, it's going to be a very similar build to that. It's going to go into this little cubby hole here. But first things first we need to do, we need to basically protect the whole car. So brown paper, old bed sheets, masking tape, and then also silver foil. This helps the mold when we do a fiberglass mold of the area. This will help it pop out nicely. I've already done a little base. This is just basically just cut to sit in there. It's going to be nice and solid for the base of the sub enclosure. So yeah, now I need to get the fiberglass chopped up, get it in the car, and then let it dry out and we can release it. So that's the mold out now. Now I've already chopped it back, so it's a nice flat face for the face panel. for the subwoofer. What I am doing now is basically I've got a load of lovely green gunk in front of me. This is basically, I'm just going to basically fill the inside of this. This will just help thicken it out, help make it really strong, so the sub is going to be really solid, sound really good, and it'll just perform much better the more solid it is. So I'm going to crack on doing that, then I'll start getting the face on, and then we can start building out for the sub to fit on nicely and make it blend in with the car perfectly. So I'll do that, catch you in a bit.
Have it, guys. The Ferrari 812 Superfast, complete with the Cambridge car audio experience. Luke and the team, Luke's been the project lead on this particular project, but the team have done an absolutely incredible job on getting this car to where we are. But now it is time in this segment to talk about kind of the spec of the system, why we opted for what we did, but also then later on in the video, you'll be able to actually listen to the final results of that system with a proper microphone setup, sat in the driver position, and I'll be sat in the passenger seat sharing and joining you on that incredible journey that now we have two incredible soundtracks, one of the incredible engine that is in this beast, but also of the soundtrack of the Cambridge car audio experience. So firstly, let's talk about some of the spec of the system. So there's a few things that are kind of fundamentals in sound, okay? One of those things is the battery. For those of you who own a Ferrari, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The factory Ferrari batteries are renowned for being relatively poor in terms of the quality of factory battery. And they do come with a Ferrari price tag as well, I'm sure. But the actual quality of the battery is not incredible, and these sorts of vehicles do always pretty much need to live on a trickle charger anyway. However, what we've done is actually upgraded the factory battery on the vehicle to a full lithium battery. This is really important on Ferraris, and it's always my recommendation whenever we're starting on a system, because the health of this battery is part of the initial checks that we do. So on any vehicle that we get in, when doing a sound system, we'll do a scan of the car, visual health check round the car, and we also do a battery test to basically see what condition of the battery is in terms of health, charging, how it's performing, before we start then acting and putting in a sound system. Then we'll advise whether it's perfectly fine and we can crack on, or whether we advise that you need a replacement battery at that point. On this particular occasion, we do a few options. We can either order a replacement Ferrari battery, for example, for you. However, my always recommendation, especially on this particular vehicle, or any Ferrari for that matter, is you go to a stronger, better battery, which we will then send you options over for. So that's exactly what we did with this client. And obviously you've seen a Ferrari 812 Superfast have a full dashboard removal, and that's the same that we've done on previous installs, let alone this year. So this year alone, and we're only, while this is being filmed, I'm sure you're probably seeing that it's a later date, but right now we are in January 2025. We've done this year alone, so this is now the end of January, we've done a Ferrari Roma being done at the moment, Ferrari FF, we've done a Ferrari F8. So yeah, and all of them require the same thing, full dashboard. It's very intricate in terms of how that gets done to be able to do it properly and safely, and that is why we have so many of the Ferrari brand coming to us for upgrades, because of the level of detail that we go to. But what our client was after was obviously with the car being as incredible as it is, wanted to keep to kind of an original look in the vehicle. So what we've done at the front end of this car is, for those of you who don't know the Ferrari mark and kind of speaker configuration that are in the car, the tweeter is actually here. So this is the factory tweeter location. Okay, so that is one location there. Then the 3-inch mid-range location sits on top of the dashboard. Then you've got a 6.5-inch mid-bass driver here, and then you've got the rear speakers just behind, just over your right shoulder if you're in the driver's seat. What the Ferrari mark offer in terms of the 812 stock sound system, you're actually going to be very shocked by this probably. And for those of you who haven't had the privilege of owning one of these, or kind of sitting and exploring one of these, this will even shock you probably even more. This is something that happens across every single manufacturer. This is not just Ferrari, this is not just supercars. It happens a little bit more in the higher end stuff. However, all manufacturers do this, okay? The reason is a manufacturer is a business that they are in the business of mass production of cars, and whatever the product is, there's some compromises made, okay? What I'm about to share with you might shock you, okay? So, in terms of, I'm going to talk about the grills in the car, okay? So from an untrained eye and maybe not full knowledge of the audio system on the Ferrari. So this car is an 812 Superfast. Bonkers car, and one of the top highest spec cars you can buy from Ferrari or anywhere in the world. It is absolutely incredible as a car. However, the reason why it's in with us and why we've done whatever we've done already on the video is because of what is in this car. Okay, I don't know if Luke touched on it earlier on in the video, or the team did, but I just want to briefly talk about it because it's quite an important thing. Okay, so in terms of the grills in the car, you have a tweeter that sat on top of your door card. You've got a mid-range location on top of your dashboard. You've got center channel locations on top of there. You've got a mid-bass location here, and you've got rear speaker locations. Okay, this car, you might be thinking, then has tweeters, mid-ranges, mid-bass, rears, and center channel, okay? That's what you would assume because the grills are there, the locations are there, everything's done. However, not the case, as you've probably seen in today's video already. All this car had was a tweeter, mid-bass, and rears. And a lot of the time on a lot of the Ferraris, we're finding that they don't even have rears in there. There is not a speaker that was mounted on top of this dashboard when this car was built. So we've fixed that problem. However, the locations were there. The mid-range location, what we've done is 3D printed an adapter, as you've seen in today's video, to go into there. We haven't done the center channel because it's not needed on this system with the quality of gear that we've got. But why on earth have we got locations in a car? If you peered in, you'd say, yes, there's a grill there, assuming there is a speaker there. And then when you get in and listen to it, it sounds absolutely horrific because all you've got is a tweeter, mid-bass, rears. The other thing about this car is there is no sub in the car from factory. There is no amplifier in the car from factory as a designated separate amplifier. So some of you might be thinking, and this is the comments that we always get where listen to the engine, listen to the soundtrack of that, is great. I have performance cars myself. I listen to that soundtrack, and there's some days I want to just listen to that. However, there are also days where I'm doing a long distance drive, you have a little bit of fun, you turn the audio off and you have fun, listen to the engine, is great. But there's also times where you want to sit back, relax, and just enjoy a conversation and enjoy some really nice music. This car has the first, but the latter wasn't an option for this client or anyone that sits in this car. You don't even need to understand audio to know this car doesn't sound how it should. That's because it's missing the mid-range. It's missing amplification, it's missing a sub, you got no bottom end, you got no middle to top end. It's just all a bit of a blur in terms of the sound system that was in the car from OEM. And then with that all being said, that has all now changed because it's had the Cambridge car audio treatment as you've seen in today's video. we've added in the mid-range, the Audison Thesis mid-range in stock location on top of the dashboard. Obviously, as you saw in today's video, full dash removal to do that, and I'm very, very, very particular in how that gets done, but that is also down to, firstly, an exceptional team. The system is absolutely incredible. So we've gone for a Hertz Mille Legend tweeter in this location. Audison Thesis 3-inch mid-range here. Hertz Mille Legend 6.5-inch mid-bass in the bottom of the door there. Then Audison Thesis in the rear for the 3-inch mid-range as rear film. We've also added in a sub, which I'll move on to in a second, and then amplification as well to fix some of the issues that weren't there from factory. So you might be thinking, well, why have we used Hertz Mille Legend here and here and Audison Thesis here? That's a different in brand. Audison and Hertz are actually the same brand, just same company, Electromedia, but they're just split for two different product markets, two different ranges. The reason is, and why we've gone for what we have done, the Hertz Mille Legend tweeter, there's a few ways of doing this. On the Ferraris, this location is incredibly small. So for some people and Ferrari owners that we talk to and then we get in, like the 812 GTS, that video is already live, that opted for an Audison Voce tweeter because it's smaller than the Hertz Mille Legend. It's not as good as the Hertz Mille Legend tweeter, and the Hertz Mille Legend tweeter is not as good as the Audison Thesis tweeter. However, it's about what the client wants at the end of the day. They're the ones that are paying the bill, so that's what they get. But it's also about creating a really nice audio environment inside the vehicle. Now, Audison Voce, Hertz Mille Legend, Audison Thesis, all incredible speakers and way, way, way beyond what was offered from factory, okay? So even the entry-level line from like Audison Prima, way, way beyond what we've got in the car from factory. So it's all about kind of understanding that, yes, there's better options sometimes, but also at the end of the day, all better than what you had from the start. Then we've got the Hertz Mille Legend 6.5-inch mid-bass. The reason why we've opted for the 6.5-inch mid-bass versus the Audison Thesis, that was a choice and discussion between me and the client. It was one of those things that the Thesis mid-bass, in respect to the Hertz Mille Legend mid-bass, personal opinion, and this is where sound and opinions kind of come into it a little bit. The Hertz Mille Legend mid-bass has a little bit more kick, if you would, than a Audison Thesis speaker. The Audison Thesis is a slightly kind of smoother sound, if you would. Again, personal preference. I'm a big fan of Audison Thesis mid-bass driver. I have that in one of my cars, and it's kind of my general go-to. But Hertz Mille Legend is an incredible, incredible option as well. So we've used that in the door to keep that as Hertz Mille Legend there. But then one of the biggest areas of sound is the 3-inch mid-range. It covers a huge, huge band of sound frequency that's being played. So you've got tweeter that does higher frequencies, a mid-range which does a hell of a lot of that mid-range area, as it's called, and then you've got a mid-bass which sits there, which is basically mid-level, so from mid down to bass frequency, and then bass frequency is covered by the sub. So a mid-range actually does a hell of a lot of work. So that is why we've had no compromises made. Audison Thesis for the rear 3-inch and the top of the dash 3-inch. Incredible, incredible products there. And that is, you're gonna hear it in a bit, but absolutely incredible soundstage with those Thesis on top of those dash. It keeps to an OEM look, which is what our client wanted. And we also have got the designated sub in the boot area. So overall, there's nothing in display here. We have got the Audison controller, which will allow for sub-level control presets. That's in the center area. But overall, a really, really nice. Obviously, it's a beautiful place to be. And that door now sounds and feels very solid because of all the sound deadening and acoustic deadening work. So like the battery, it's a fundamental part of doing a system. And now, obviously, sound deadening is also part of that as well. So if we lift up the boot area, what we're going to do is what we've got here is the sub. So this car, as I mentioned earlier, didn't have an amplifier, didn't have mids on top of the dash, didn't have mids on top of the dash, and they didn't have amplification or a sub. So that is all changed. So now we've got all of that in there, and we've also opted to go for a really, really special sub. This is the Hertz Mille Legend 10-inch sub, a deep sub. You wouldn't know it, because we built a fully custom enclosure, wrapped that in Alcantara, so trimmed that all really nicely. Gave the option of the Ferrari badge being at the top or lower down. Personal preference, like I said to him, was probably lower down, a bit more stock looking. but we've changed the Hertz logo on the grille to the Ferrari logo, just to kind of set it off. It looks a bit more cool, it looks a bit more OEM, but we've actually hidden all the grills, all the bolts for the sub with the beauty panel, retrimmed it in the same material, so it just looks and blends in really, really nicely. For me, personal preference, I would have probably had it lower down, which that's an argument me and him will have, but again, that can be changed. We can swap that if he ever decides to go with my idea, but he liked it as it was, so we've done that for him. But again, this is a conversation in person, over text or whatever, or video calls as we go through. We've still got the tuning cable laid out because we've still got to do a little bit more tuning before we film the final bit of video with you guys, so that will eventually be done. We thought we'd catch a little bit of the sunlight to get this one with the paintwork and glisten in the sun, but underneath there you still got loads of luggage space. The amplification stage is all hidden, don't see any of that. The amplification stage that we're using here is the Audison Forza range. So there's 2 amplifiers in that system. We've got the Audison Forza 12 channel, and then we've got the Audison Forza 1 channel as well. So this is a very common partnership that we use on a lot of cars, mostly because of space limitations, but also with the cars that we work on. But also the quality and bang for buck that they actually are is really, really impressive. You get full tuning platform, which is really good. It gives us a great foundation level via the Accordo software that they've just released. Gives us a load of good foundation level DSP stuff to be able to play with before adding our own custom tune. So we've had the songs list from our client sent over in the group chats. We've then tuned that. We will tune that more to get that basically ready for our client to collect. But the nice thing is how much space there still is. I mean, these are kind of a Toro, if you would. There's loads of space in them, which is really nice to play with and stuff, but you've got so much retention of space, which is the really beautiful thing about these sorts of cars. But also just keeping that OEM look in the car. I mean, very, very discreet. The only thing on display necessarily is that designated sub left-hand side. But if Ferrari were ever to put a sub in a car, like on the FF, for example, they have a designated sub on the left-hand side. So it's kind of mimicked that in terms of they see a factory grille from a designated sub from Ferrari on the FF, but on here we've done pretty much exactly the same, but it just looks really nice, it blends in really nicely, and you've got retention of space. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the video so far, but now that is the fun bit. You've seen the install, you've had my boring bit of talking through everything, and now it's time to go through and listen to the car. So I'm going to play with the tuning a little bit more, get that all set up, ready for our client to collect. So that will go through a couple of different stages of tuning. We'll go through the initial setup, which has been done, fine tuning by the guys, Luke and the team, to get the car sounding where we want it to be. Then I'll sit in the car and do more final tuning, getting it ready for the client for collection. And this client has actually opted for 2 ways of getting a car to and from us. He's actually arranged for it to be transported to us to get the car here for drop off, which is perfectly normal and very common, and we've got some good contacts if you are looking to do that and you are based a bit further afield or don't have the time to get to us. Obviously this client is based UK side, well the car was, and the other really cool thing about the systems and things we offer is the fact that if you are abroad, it does cost a bit, but well worth it to get the car to us. We do offer full international transport. So if you are based abroad and you want that Cambridge car audio treatment just like this client has had, what you need to do is drop us a message and we will help you and arrange full transfer, whether that be shipping the car, whether that be flying the car, but it all can be done and arranged with ourselves to get the car to where it needs to be, which is with us. So really, really cool upgrades done to this car. Really happy with the final result. I've got a little bit more tuning to do. Then I'll sit in the car with you, listen to it, and then you guys will be able to hear how good this 812 Superfast now sounds. So we're now sat in the vehicle, ready for you guys to listen and share this journey with me. So you might be thinking, well, why on earth am I sat in the passenger seat? Okay, reason is because you should probably be able to see it in shop, but my new microphone setup that we've just invested in, this is so you get a better representation of time alignment, sound in the vehicle, and what we're looking to achieve. However, saying that, it still depends on what you are listening to the system on this video. So if you're listening to this on your phone right now, please stop and grab a decent pair of headphones, go into a home system, listen to it properly, listen to it onto a decent, maybe a Cambridge car audio car that we've done for you, but listen to it on a proper system and you'll be able to hear how good this system sounds. So saying that again, you'll never be able to represent what you can hear in person with even me sat here. It's just incredible what can be achieved and in such a car, and you never get it fully by this, but this is as close as we can possibly think of getting it. So I'm going to play a couple of tracks for you. Here we go. You can already hear it sounds amazing.
You could say anything, but it could mean everything, 'cause you said it to the right person and they needed the compliment. But isn't it sickening? You can say you're in love with them, but it won't mean anything at all. But that's not your fault. Life's funny like that. You lose one thing, get another one back. You thought you knew, but it wasn't enough. Falling for you. We haven't even talked, still I'm obsessed with you.
Incredible, incredible.
Was it your milky eyes or your skin? I don't know. Doesn't matter anyway, 'cause I'm never letting you go. I know. You tell him he's all you see. Tell him you got his keys, 'cause you thought he needed them. But he's not coming back again. So he's gone, leaving then. You won't see him again. It was convenient.
Got goosebumps, absolutely bonkers in here. It's just the difference from where it was to where we are now. The journey the client has been on to get this done is phenomenal. The team, hats off to them every single time. Like the love, the care that the team put into it to get a car sounding this good is literally, you can hear the care, the love, the how proud we are as a business, but also as a team, as the lead engineer, as the engineers that are working on it, the talent that's involved. You can hear it all. Literally, I say this so many times, a system is 20% product, 80% install. This is where so much of it is so important, that that you choose your install, and this is why we get clients travel all over the country, all over the world to us to have cars. So that's why we have so many cars sent over to us from abroad, from all over the UK. We can offer full transport on these cars to get them to us, because the install is the bit that makes it sound good, and that is the Cambridge Car Audio way. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.